welcome to week 6 of your launch camp. This week, we are exploring the final part of the pipes. We're looking at support. But before we dive into that, first of all, I just want to take a moment to congratulate you. Many people don't make it this far. They have the best intentions of supporting other people to learn about essential oils and other natural products, and then life gets in the way. So the fact that you've made it here, give yourself a pat on the back. Now we're going to look into how you can support your customers and how we support you in supporting your customers. Okay, let's look at support. So I just want to remind you, after we spoke about last week, is once we've enrolled someone, I like to use the analogy of a swimming pool. We've just sold everyone a swimming pool. Now, for some people, they dive straight in and they start swimming straight away. They're finding about the oils, they're using all their products, and that's great. Other people just dip their toes in the water and are using one or two of their products, but maybe not everything that they got. And then there are others that pop it on a counter, a little bit scared of it, don't know what to do, and we need to teach them how to swim. So regardless of whether they're 1, 2, or 3, we will make sure people are swimming, but they're also swimming properly. Remember, some people are so enthusiastic that they're using too much oils or using them in the wrong way. We want to show people how to use their oils fully, wisely, and safely. And so the support journey is really, really important. So first of all, I want to start off with a question. Why is supporting new customers so important? Well, there's a very, very big reason for that. Apart from the kind of ethical reason that we've just sold them some products and to desert them would maybe be unethical, from a business point of view, an engaged customer has been worked out to be worth $2,000 over their lifetime. So if you're looking at building a financial pipeline and bringing income in over many years to come, if you think of each engaged customer as being worth $2,000, that will give you a bit of an idea of what you can kind of expect. Now, that doesn't just mean the ones that you bring in. As other people start to bring them in, that can accumulate as well. So this was a figure that was calculated by Treasury or by Finance with doTERRA, and I think it's a really great figure to kind of set your eyes on. Where I set my eyes on, though, is not on the fact that, I'm going to get $2,000. It's on the fact that, am I going to give this customer $2,000 worth of value? And that's exactly what we want to do in our support. It's really important that we look after our customers, especially in those first 60 days. There's a couple of reasons for that. That if left too long, the enthusiasm of becoming a doTERRA customer kind of wanes away, and it can be a bit hard to pick that up later on. And there's one key type of commission that is called Fast Start. Now, that is paid on the enrollment of a customer and for the following 60 days, any orders they place. So I really like to spend this 2 months of making sure I give them the best support so that they are really engaged to become a customer, and doTERRA will financially reward you with the best commission you'll ever earn from a customer's purchases. If you enrolled the person, you get 20%. If someone you enrolls someone, you get 10%. And if someone who you enrolls someone, then you get the 5%. So this is a really nice, lucrative commission that is also paid weekly, which is really great as well. So it's about the benefit to you financially, but also the benefit to that customer. There are 4 parts. First of all, when they join, we want to give them their welcoming information in a little parcel. And if you're meeting with them in person, you can hand that to them. And we want to email them the information they need so that they can access that later on as well. We then want to set them up with our education. And the fact that you're part of the Essential Friendships family, I'm going to get slightly arrogant for a second. We give some of the best education in the world. You may have just thought that that was standard, but I am meeting people on a weekly basis who met a lovely lady once upon a time and never heard from her ever again. And when they sometimes rejoin as a new customer again and join our family, then they are wowed at how different it is. We need to be really proud of this. And as we're talking to people about the benefits of enrolling, we need to let them know that there is so much ahead that they can get really excited about. And that is one of the great reasons why joining you as a customer is really great. So we want to set them up with all that education. And then we want to also invite them to be part of this community. Just like we talked about last week, this is not a normal sales kind of scenario where people just buy something and then they never hear from us again. We're not also the aftercare where if they need to call us, they can. Although they can always, we are more proactive in following them up as well. And then it's really important for you to build community. And we're going to talk about that as well. Right. So you've just enrolled someone. When you enroll someone, what you'll notice is that you get their member number. You want to get that member number and their password. Now, I should say, just as a side note, the password, we like to use the same pattern for creating everyone's password. I usually use their first name and their birth date. And thus, if anyone forgets their password, you can help them really easily to remember it, because a lot of the time, although you send this welcome email, it goes missing in people's inboxes. You can look up the number in your back office and you can get that password by just asking them what their birthday is and working it out that way. So we email them their login instructions or their discount code so that you make sure that whenever they're buying again from doTERRA, they're not just going straight to doTERRA.com, that they are logging in, because they get the discount and you get the commission. We then are setting them up with the links to Oil Camp, their consult with you, and our social media links. And we have a welcome guide. Now, the email, I can send you this template, or your mentor can send you this template, and the welcome guide, we can also give you access to access to that as well. So if you don't have them, please, in your next mentoring session, make sure you do. The welcome email is very simple, and we try and keep it really short and really easy to follow. And you can kind of put your little flair on it, but keep it to the main structure, which we find works really, really well. We also want to give them a welcome gift. Now, doTERRA is a business for you, and you are meant to be running this at a profit. So you don't want to be going into the red all the time. So we try and keep just a nice little gift, but the gift has a purpose. So first of all, Oil Camp, which I'm going to talk about in depth in a moment, is one of our most important education tools. And we want to make sure that every single customer has the ability to participate in Oil Camp fully. So if their kit did not have all top 10 oils, or they did not start with all top 10 oils of lavender, lemon, peppermint, tea tree, oregano, frankincense, On Guard, Zengest, Ice Blue, and Easy Air, then we want to give them the remaining samples there. Some starter kits in different regions have a different top 10, but we find that top 10 that I just listed are the most important ones. And so we want to give them samples of those top 10. We also want to introduce customers as quickly as possible to the other products. Many people enroll with their eyes set on essential oils, but the hacks when it comes to LRP is we want to move people off enrolling in, or off purchasing essential oils monthly onto ordering their supplements, their bathroom products, their laundry products, and their cleaning products, all from doTERRA. Those are consumables that they need to replace on a more regular basis than oils, and that helps create a loyal customer. And then, so that's, I should say that's why we have toothpaste samples that are available that you can buy from doTERRA. They have Ice Blue or Deep Blue rub samples, and we have the MetaPower Advantage. These are just introducing them to different ideas. And plus, we always like to give everyone a 5 ml wild orange. Why? Because everyone needs a wild orange. This is also a really nice gift if you are enrolling someone in person, to be able to hand this to them straight away. When they're waiting a few days for their oils to arrive, at least they've got one oil to play with and get excited about in that time. Okay, so in the welcome email, and then we want to follow this up as well, is we want to get them to be involved in Oil Camp. Now, we have Oil Camp available in various formats. The primary format, which I would prefer every single person to be part of, is Oil Camp on Facebook. The reason being is Facebook is the only social media platform we really have that a majority of people are familiar with, and it allows interaction. Now, We have people in some areas that don't have a Facebook account, but just like we will create an Amazon account or an eBay account to maybe purchase something on one of those websites, we encourage people to create a Facebook website, a Facebook account, just so they can do Oil Camp and so they can later access our Essential Friendships Facebook group, which is the main hub of information that we have. So we do have a version on Teachable, which is an online school where they can follow and do it in their own way. And they can interact a little bit there with just the one person because they answer questions. And our third preference is we do have a video version on YouTube where they can just watch and follow the instructions. Why I like the Facebook one is because they can interact with coaches and the top leaders in our Essential Friendships family and get coaching straight away, and they get to feel that sense of community. Teachable is the second best one because at least they do answer questions so we can kind of see that they are interacting. And YouTube is our last option. But we just have those options because we appreciate that, unfortunately, some people don't like to use Facebook for various reasons. So we'd rather they have the education in a lesser form rather than no form whatsoever. So why is Oil Camp so important? And I will nag in a polite, friendly, playful manner with every single customer trying to get them to do Oil Camp. The reason being is last week we talked about enrollers and sponsors. And a sponsor is where you put someone in your tree. Your mentors and the silvers and above can help you with this, enabling you to work out the best place in order to maximize your commission and the profits in your business. So once we enroll someone, you choose a sponsor. Now, everyone that you enroll this month, you have till the 10th of next month to move them once. Once that 10th comes, or once you've done that move, they become cemented in that position. And it becomes rather hard for them to move again. You can't just move them willy-nilly whenever you want. They must either enroll their first person or you must get up to 10 different signatures of upline people to sign a form and then request doTERRA to move it, and they don't always grant it. So it's really important that we cement someone, we plant them where they're going to flourish the most and where they're going to be most beneficial for your business. Now, what I've found is Oil Camp is a really good indicator of how much someone's going to dive into the doTERRA lifestyle. So we deliberately, because you've got to the 10th of the next month, we start an Oil Camp on the first Monday of each month. So let's say it is June and you've enrolled lots of people in June. Our next Oil Camp will begin on the first week of July. You get all your June enrollments into that July Oil Camp. And then we can see who's participating, who's commenting, who's asking questions, and who hasn't even joined the group or who's gone radio silent. Then by the 10th, they're already a few days through Oil Camp. We can see who's participating, who's not, and we can make decisions and go, well, those that are participating, they're probably going to want to have them in positions up high, maybe to help us get our Power of Three commission. And we'll talk about this a bit more next week. And those that aren't really engaged, we're going to want to move them lower down in our organization to just use them for volume when they do choose to order, if they order again. So I have found those people that participate in Oil Camp are fully engaged and really get how to use their oils and what doTERRA is all about. Those that don't, do not. And hence, that is why I spend a lot of time following up, ensuring, encouraging people to do Oil Camp, and why we invest and send out prizes and so on, because we really want to make this fruitful and beneficial. It's part of that $2,000. If they do Oil Camp, you're well on the way to getting that $2,000. The other thing we book people in for is a personal consult. Now, a personal consult has 6 main points, and it can be done in many different ways. There's another video as a second part of this guide, which will actually show you how to do a personal consult online. So this is really, really important. Sometimes you enroll people online and you haven't actually interacted with them, speaking to them. They may have been messaging you backwards and forwards like a platform like Instagram. Or you did a group presentation where you enrolled 6 different people and you may not have invited those people straight away. So personal consults ideally are done by someone who has a bit more experience. So in the first, say, 10 to 20 enrollments, or as long as you need, it's a three-way. It's between someone like myself or another silver, you and that person. There are 6 main objectives, and we spend about 10 minutes on each. The first one is just getting to know them. And this is why I love to, if I can, I go and actually do it in person, ideally at their home, if not in a coffee shop, and I'll get to know them, ask them about their lives, get to know whether they've got a partner, children, pets, and obviously I'm looking at all this from the lens of how can doTERRA also support them in this as well. Then what I want to do is I want to make sure that they're using the products they've already got. It's no good them looking at getting more products if they're not using the one they've already got. So I ask them, what are your favorite? What are you using? What have you noticed? What difference have you noticed already? Is one of my favorite questions to ask them. And I also ask them if they've got any questions. Now, if I find that they're not using certain products, I will kind of either, if I'm at their home, we'll get up and we'll actually go put the oils around the house. If we're online, I'll talk about it and encourage them to do that as well. Then I'll also start to ask them, what are the needs of their household? And in doing this, what I'm doing is I'm looking at what else would support them and what would be beneficial to go onto their loyalty rewards order, which we're going to talk about in a second. We also want to set them up with our other resources. And I'll show you a little bit more about that, but that's all our social media access that we give them to. We have different apps and we have books as well. Then we want to go through setting them up on LRP, and I've got a demonstration video on that for you. And then we also want to talk to them about the business opportunity. Let me expand on a few of these things a little bit more. So resources. If they're a book type of person, there are some really great books. First of all, if we're looking at physical or practical well-being, and if they're really interested in that, we find that probably the best book is Advanced Oil Magic. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, it took me a while to get into this book because I thought it was more spiritually inclined, but this is a really simple yet comprehensive book that has really great protocols in it. And if you don't have these references, I'd encourage you to grab them as well. Another really popular one is The Essential Life. Now, why I prefer Oil Magic over Oil Life is I find Oil Magic is a little bit more, it gives you all the information you need, but it doesn't give you too much. Essential Life is full of information and also has things like cooking recipes and gardening tips and things for pets. Really, really great. But sometimes when people are beginning, they just need to be told what to do. They don't need too many options. And that's where Advanced Oil Magic is really, really great. Anything by Scott A. Johnson. This is a doctor who has a really great background in essential oils. Is really, really great. Surviving When Modern Medicine Fails is a really great reference to look at. It actually tells you, what modern pharmaceuticals are prescribed and empowers you to look at other essential oils that could use as a substitute if someone doesn't want to use a pharmaceutical, which comes up quite a lot. We also have an app called Essentials of the Earth, or EOE Books. This is a really great one that actually gives, again, simple protocols and ways to use your oils based on physical ailments, everything from arthritis to boils to chlamydia to flatulence to anything that could go wrong. It'll show you in there. So again, what we're doing here by setting your customer up with resources, as your business grows, you're going to have 10, then 100, then 1,000, then 10,000 customers. You can't be the font of all knowledge because otherwise your phone will never stop. This consult, what we're trying to do is we're trying to set them up and empower them to find all the resources themselves. Now, if they're interested in the emotional aspect of things and the more holistic approach, I would recommend for an app, the Essential Emotions reference. It talks about different emotions, different oils, different body parts, and how they're all linked together. So the kind of the mental, physical link as well. And I am going to promote my own work as well. Any of my books, including The Gift of Essential Oils, looks at a more holistic way of working with essential oils. And anyone who's kind of wants to go down that avenue or is interested in that will really benefit from that. We also want to talk to them about the business opportunity And a really great way to do this is using the build guide. Now, some countries and regions will send out the build guide as well as the live guide that I showed you before on a previous slide. And the live guide helps you go through the wellness consult in one way. You don't need to use the live guide. The build guide also talks about the business in a really simple way, including things such as earning potentials and so on. So how I would basically explain the business opportunity, as I say, doTERRA works slightly different to other businesses. What they do is they, instead of having shops or selling directly with a website, what they do is they rely on people and word of mouth. So because they're not spending money on shops and rent and staff in that manner, they actually use that money and they pay those that are to thank those that are spreading the good word. So you have a few options there. You may just want to occasionally have a neighbor or family member who is interested. We can set them up. They'll get exactly the same support that you've been experiencing already. So you don't feel that you have to support them by yourself. The Essential Friendships team will support them. And when you do that, when they place an order, doTERRA says thank you and will pop some money in your account so that you can pay for next month's loyalty rewards order. Now, some people would be interested in earning maybe $500 to $1,000 a month. And I always like to ask, would that help out at all? And if that's the case, we can get into regular sharing of more and more people, and I can show you how to do that. And if that's the case, you can bring that into your household. And you have some people that hate their job. They want to quit. They're sick of being a slave to the clock and a slave to a boss and giving all their, hard-earned energy, time, and attention to someone else's profits. And they'd like to launch their own business. And if that's the case, we obviously have our launch camp training, and you can invite them to do that. And they may be interested in doing that as well. So I always reassure people that this opportunity is available to all of our customers. At the same time, I'm not going to ring any of my customers next week telling them that I need 10 names of people I can call or cold call or anything like that. But if they'd like some more information about that, we can dive into that. We can discuss that now. We can discuss that at a later date. That opportunity is always there for all of our customers. So a few extra tips when doing the consult. First of all, you want to make sure that they are up for that consult. And the best way to do that is to let them know that that's going to be happening during the enrollment. Otherwise, we get that Starbucks example that I talked about before, that they're like, why are you calling me? Why do you want to talk to me again? Is it just so you can sell me more? You need to reassure them that this is so they can have all their questions answered, make sure they're using their oil safely, set them up with some other resources and give them some more information and show them how they can save the most money. Those are the different reasons why we want to have that consult with them. Now, ideally, in person is best. So if you live in the same area as them, if you can get together at their house, ideally, or if you can have coffee with them, great. Now, I find in person, those consults, I normally have to block out half a day. Between travel and having a good natter, you want to have that. But remember, $2,000 worth of service, half a day's work, 2 to 3 hours, really getting to know someone. It's really enjoyable that you're getting paid to have coffee with people, and it really forms a really great rapport. And if not, Zoom is my second choice, and I do many around the world on Zoom, and that works just fine as well. Ideally, you want to have their consult with them about a week after their order's arrived and they've had a bit of a play. We do in Oil Camp set them up and remind them, if you haven't booked in your consult, go back and book that in. So we're constantly bringing back this importance of the consult. Now, as I said before, in the first few, we encourage you to make sure that you have an experienced leader, a silver or above, or your camp mentor or whoever. They're helping you out with these consults, just so you can see the flow, just so all the questions that get asked can be answered and so on. And as you get more confident, then we kind of step away and you're on your own. And then you'll be mentoring other people on how to do their consults. Remember that some people just don't want to consult. So the first 60 days is when we do everything we can to get them into Oil Camp, get them on their consult, get them all hooked up, get them part of our community. For some reason, some people never engage in that and never take advantage of that. We let them know after about 60 days, and I do have a standard email I can send you, which is hey, I know I've been nagging you a little bit, but I'm not trying to nag you apart from to show you that I want to support you. If you need me, reach out to me. But if you find after the first 60 days that they haven't booked in their consult for, and there isn't any reason, like they've been away on holidays for 3 months, then that's quite all right. And that doesn't mean that you've done a bad job. It just means that some people, you want to know that after that first 60 days, you've kind of done your best to support that person and set them up for success. If you've done that, you've done enough. Okay. When it comes to online support, we have this in our email that goes out, our welcome email. We also have this in our oil camp, and we also have this available in our Facebook group. And we also encourage you to talk about this in the consult as well. We try and link people into platforms that they like, that they're used to using, or that they're going to find helpful. So we send out monthly emails, and there are other email series that they can subscribe to. We have YouTube channel, we have an Instagram page, we have Essential Friendships on Facebook, which we encourage everyone to be in ideally. We have online courses on Teachable, and we also do podcasts. Not only that, but so does doTERRA. doTERRA has a global as well as regional YouTube channel, Instagram pages, podcasts. They'll send out emails to all customers. They have training on Teachable, which is found at training.doterra.com, and they have Facebook pages as well. So plugging people in to which platforms they like to use so that they can constantly get doTERRA information as much as they need is really beneficial for them. So they're getting that support elsewhere as well. Now, I asked a question when doing a Wednesday training with our leaders recently, and I said, what do you think is the most important thing you need in order to have a successful doTERRA business? And they would say things like determination, consistency, professionality. And I smiled playfully and said, nope, nope, nope. It's community and your ability to create community. That is the most important factor in your doTERRA business's success. It doesn't matter about all those other things. Your ability to engage a group of people and form a sense of community, whether it be in person or online, is really, really vital. People need to be in alignment with your vision for health and wellness. So one of the best ways to do this is through events. And remember, when we talked about preparing, we talked about the 2 + 2 + 2 + 1. Here, we're talking about that 1. And I encourage you to get involved in doing one good event each month. So in the first few months, doing this by yourself may be a little bit nerve-wracking. And so you can pair with other people in order to do that. There will be things in the area that you maybe can invite people along to. But what are some tips when running your own event? Well, first of all, you want to give people many weeks more warning. People are busy. People are, have other things on, and you don't want to just throw something on them in the 3 days beforehand. That's not going to set you up for having a good event. What we like to do and what we recommend is if you can get people into the habit, the first Sunday of every month, the second Tuesday night of every month, whatever that may be, and people kind of get to know and when you finish one event, you let them know the date for the next one. You being organized by that allows them to be organized and they can fit it into their life. After a while, because they're enjoying your event so much, it's going to be that thing. On a Sunday, I always go to my leaders event, my doTERRA event, because that's what we do. What you want to do here is you want to cover diverse topics that will interest your team. You also want to make it interactive and participatory. You don't need to necessarily sit there with a slideshow and talk to them about 10 different things to do to increase your immunity, unless you've got a group that really, really likes that. Remember that when it comes to people's time, especially after the COVID pandemic, people have become really wary with how they allocate their time. If you're having an event, you're competing against family time, friend time, social time, work time, and alone time. And so you want to make sure that this is something people want to come along to. In the end, we're finding that you don't necessarily just have to make it purely based on oils or doTERRA. Things like spa days can be really beneficial. Things like iTovi readings or scanners or Oracle readings can be really great. We've found events like, wine and cheese and oil nights and different things like that. As long as the oils get brought up, then that's absolutely great. Now, we also have essential friendships events, and we'll let you know about them in different regions. They'll be both online and in person, so you can bring people along to them as well. doTERRA has events, small scale local events. Sometimes other people will, different teams in doTERRA will get together and do an event as well, all the way through to national and global conventions, which are absolutely amazing to bring as many customers as you can to them. Then there'll be other people that have events. It's really, really important. When I started my doTERRA journey, this is how I became confident in running my own events, was going to other people's. But I have a rule. You're not allowed to be a no friends loser. Whenever you're going to someone else's event, take some of your new customers with you. Go, hey, I'm going to the AromaTouch class. Would you like to come with me? Hey, I'm going to this cooking with oils class. They're another fun one when people are actually cooking or making cocktails as well. Would you come with me? So get into that habit of bringing people together, making that friendship group, that community group as well. And then you can also collaborate and swap with others to create events. So there's your uplines, there's your crosslines. So there are other people in the Essential Friendships family, even people outside of the Essential Friendships family. And as you start to gain more customers, ask your people. And, if you've got someone who's using the oils in their Reiki business, would they be interested in working with you to do a bit of a Reiki and oils workshop? If you've got someone who loves making cacao and doing cacao ceremonies with their oils and their cacao, could you work together and collaborate with that as well? So what you do for the event, you've got to be excited about them, and your community will be excited about them as well. So I like to give benchmarks, I like to give rules, and so I would strive to invite your new customer to at least 3 events in the first 60 days. Some of these may be online, some of these may be in person, some of these may be hosted by you, some of them may be hosted by doTERRA, other people. It doesn't matter. Just let them know, give them pre-warning, and really usher them in. After 3 events, if they've been along to them, they're going to start to really know what they enjoy, what works for them, and then you can still invite them after those 60 days, but you're going to have new customers that you're looking after. These people will start to know about these events, let them know how they can follow these events so that they can keep coming as well. So to let you know what Essential Friendships does on a regular basis. Every week, we do what we call night school. This is run in our Essential Friendships Facebook group, and it is about an hour's class where myself or someone else will actually, teach something, answer questions, interact with our customer base, and so on. This is a really great thing to get people to come to, no matter where they are in the world. As long as they're awake, it's great. As part of our support as well, we send out a monthly newsletter. And at the start, on the first week of every month, we do a 1-hour product training. And obviously, the Earth is not flat and we have different time zones. So like our night school that is basically Australian friendly for an Australian evening. Some people may be asleep at that time. We do find that Europe's awake at that time, and Brazil or the Americas are kind of waking up in the morning. So we can get most people around that time. But we want to make sure that we kind of get in and talk about relevant promotions, especially each month with the regions. So obviously doTERRA brings out new promotions on the first of each month. We then run separate trainings for Australia and New Zealand, North America, Europe, Middle East, Brazil. And as we continue to expand, we'll do ones for the different areas of Asia and other regions as well. So chat to your mentor about them and get involved in them and invite people along to them as well. Now, being part of the support is not just about you sitting back and following the lead. What we're going to encourage you to do, well, I'm going to make you do it actually, is I'm going to get you to get involved in night school. I'm going to get you to be involved in our Essential Friendships Facebook group. I'm going to get you to get involved in participating in our monthly newsletter and writing sections for that, and coming along to our monthly online trainings. So you'll see in the activities this week, We're going to get you talking, presenting, contributing in all those ways. What makes our Essential Friendships leadership group so great is that we are also a community of people supporting each other to have successful businesses. Our inspirational video this week is my mother, Jill, and she's going to share her story of when she was invited to do her first Facebook Live and the journey she went on. So no matter how confident or lack of confidence you have right now, many people, including myself, at one stage had to turn on that camera, type something on a keyboard, and do whatever we needed to do. And we're here to support you to do that so that you can grow your business, and you can grow your community while contributing to the greater community of Essential Friendships. So, lots of people like checklists, and you'll find an Excel spreadsheet. If you're a bit of an Excel person, you can work this out however you like. But these are your checklists of the 8 things you want to do for every new customer within the 60 days. You want to send them an email. You want to give them their welcome gift. You want to make sure they're into Oil Camp. You want to make sure they have their personal consult. You want to join them to Essential Friendships Facebook group. That is our main hub. There are no other platforms that can store information as well as that one. So make sure they're part of that. And then you want to invite them to event 1, then 2, then 3. And I'd suggest maybe not inviting them to all 3 at once. That'll be a little bit overwhelming, but invite them to one in the next couple of weeks, then another one, then another one. That's your core lesson for week 6. There is another video to watch where we kind of go through the part of setting them up with their loyalty rewards program in the personal consult. So watch that video of me demonstrating that. That's going to be really beneficial for you as well. And then it's time for you to start supporting your brand new customers and contributing to our doTERRA and Essential Friendships community. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.